Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pro Political Pod. This is a special edition, episode 10. We hit double digits, and my name is Chris Caputo, my co host, Andrew Kornick, and we're here with Benny and Steve. Those are our two guests for tonight, or in the morning when you guys watch this. So let's get right to it.
Let me be clear.
You peddle false narratives.
Sexy boo.
We'll see who cancels who.
Watch me.
So,
You doing,
Benny
everybody?
and Steve,
I'm Benny.
I'm Steve.
welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you for having us, fellas.
Chris.
Of course.
No,
Andrew.
no
Pleasure.
problem.
Of course, please tell us about yourselves. Or tell them about yourselves.
I'll let you go first, Benny.
No, you're gonna go first.
All right. I'm Steve. I'm one half of the Benny and Steve show. New podcast. Look out for it. Should be coming out soon. We just did our first interview with Bronze Nazareth, the Wu-Tang Clan affiliate, critically acclaimed MC, producer. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I'm the other half, Benny. This is a new venture for me. I teamed forces with my buddy Steve here, and we're gonna try to start kicking off this podcast. That's
Hey,
basically it.
Terrific. We're all young in this, right? We're all new in this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we're all in it together.
New cool thing to
Absolutely.
do.
yeah. So, giving it a shot here, fellas.
All right. So given that we're a political podcast, obviously, we'd like to know, like, where you guys kind of come from, if you guys have any political inclinations or of the sort. So,
Okay. I guess I'll start here.
Yeah, take the mics.
Oh man, I was how shall I say it? I was ignorant about everything political and this and that. And then Dr. Ron Paul cured my apathy. He taught me about freedom. He taught me about my rights, the Constitution, things that actually matter. And then from there, I just lived it, essentially, promoted it, lived it, promote it, co-sign it. Like, to me, it's mind boggling how it is. I can talk to people about this and they'll disagree. I'm like, how do you even disagree with freedom? It makes no sense to me. I don't know.
okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I was ignorant to it. I still am kind of ignorant. I'm not really too political, but I don't know every ins and outs about it. I just know I believe what I believe, and I trust my own instinct. And there's a lot of brainwashing in this world. You're supposed to follow the law, the Constitution,
That's correct.
and that's the law. That should be everyone's politics. Some way
Alright.
down the line, all that stuff gets twisted, you know? So when stuff gets twisted, it's not, I'm not down with that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah, it really does. So,
So
I was so like, what specifically, like, how like would you describe your politics if you had like a way to describe it?
Myself,
Either one. I mean,
I
we
would
talked about this a
say,
little bit before, but if you want to say for
yeah,
the
of
audience.
course. I would consider myself a libertarian if you want to include the necessary evil of government. But, like even Somalia has progressed under anarchy. They went from a governed country that was an absolute shithole failure and progressed under anarchy.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you support like anarchy, like libertarian anarchism, like
Yeah.
anarcho-capitalism, perhaps? Is that like
Anarcho-capitalism for sure. Yeah, 100%.
okay?
Laissez-faire, free markets.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. You
Mm.
shouldn't have to go get a permit to sell your cake outside your house that you make. You know what I mean? If there's a million people lining up down the block, obviously you're doing something right. The government just wants their cut. That's the only
basically what
problem.
it is. They strong arm you. It's
Yeah,
like a mafia.
exactly.
That's all it is.
That's exactly what it is. People are like, but if we don't have government, the gangs will take over. We have a gang ruling us. It's called government.
Well, you need some law and order, but
Yes,
Okay. So
again,
you,
the Constitution.
yeah.
Bill of
So
Rights.
like you said beforehand. So you said like no government, period, right?
I mean, why would you need a government? You think about it. What is democracy? Democracy is 3 wolves and a sheep voting on lunch.
What?
Obviously, the 3 sheep are going to say, I mean, the 3 wolves are going to say, let's eat the sheep.
Yeah. So you're like your worldview is like not even really in favor of like democracy,
Well, first
or
of all, America is absolutely not a
oh,
democracy.
I know we can
We
talk
are
about
a
that.
Yeah.
constitutional republic.
Yeah,
Yeah. Main
that's
word,
representative,
constitution.
etc. Yeah, because I am someone who supports like democracy, so and it's
Yeah.
obviously not a perfect form of governing, like I guess order in a sense, but I do think it's one of the best forms, at least like and one of the, that we can strive for, to the extent that we have any kind of democracy,
Can
like
we
in
agree it's
any
not
country.
working today in this day and age?
Yeah, like to the extent that people pretend that we have a working democracy, I think there's definitely a lot of problems with that. I
Yeah.
think the problem tends to be like you said, like we aren't really a democracy, right?
So according to the Constitution and the libertarian viewpoint is the individual rights matter. The individual matters. You matter, I matter, he matters, Chris matters. We all matter. But under the democracy, the mob rules us. You understand?
Okay.
Whether you agree with my view or not won't matter if 100 other people agree with my view.
If
You
you're always
understand what I'm saying?
You're also going to bump heads with his view or his view. Everybody's not going to always be on the same page.
Exactly. So the individual rights should supersede everything else.
No, there's got to be some type of middle. You got to meet in the middle somewhere. Because
I do agree.
your view may be crazy, outlandish, as opposed to what I think or Joe Schmo thinks. Or this.
But as long as my view doesn't violate your rights, there should not be an issue.
Yeah, it shouldn't, but there's some people that do.
Yeah,
That's the
I
thing.
agree that people's like individual like that everyone should have like their own individual liberties and such, but at the same time, I mean, wouldn't a well like functioning democracy be able to embolden that? Because I mean, you even agree, like you talk about like the Constitution, so like there are obviously like core principles that
Yeah.
we should use as like a baseline. Like obviously we're not.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not a Trump supporter, but when the Constitution was followed, when people actually had their rights, you know, America was one of the greatest countries in the world. We had the best schools, we had everything, you know? And today we've strayed from that and we're whatever, 27th on the list here, 32nd on the list here. You know, you understand what I'm saying? We've strayed from the core principles of America. And we've made amendments to include everybody and be inclusive and women can vote and blah blah blah. Like Trump says make America great again. Again, not a Trump supporter at all. But I
Well,
can understand the meaning
some people
behind it
contest
because at
them.
one point in time we were supposedly number 1 in almost every category. We have the worst schools, we have the fattest people, the sickest people. You know, something is not working right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You see it that way.
I mean,
but
my question I would have for that is, you think that we didn't have that many fat people, schools were that much better with Trump in office?
From old
Well,
pictures.
he's not talking about. I think he's talking about just recent history, right?
Yeah, American history.
Okay.
Yeah, because I
And
was
I'm
gonna
not
say.
even waving the flag. Like, I don't think there should be borders. You shouldn't have a passport. People should be able to travel freely. You know, I'm not in favor of all of that.
I mean, definitely. I mean, you look at when it comes to like people being bigger, right? Like I just watched maybe a few months ago Supersize Me. That was what, back in 04?
It's a great movie, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it was really. I didn't see the sequel,
Great movie, whatever.
but
What's
the documentary.
Documentary,
What's the
same
sequel?
thing.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah, I
like,
didn't even know there was a sequel to that.
What's the
yeah.
sequel?
You know what? I didn't see it, but it's like I think it came out in 2012. I didn't get a chance to see it. I looked at it. I was like, I don't know, not in the mood right now. So I just like totally skipped it. But
Oh.
yeah, so basically he went to McDonald's every single day for 30 days.
For 30
Breakfast,
days.
lunch, and dinner, and he went to like 3 nutritionists. I mean, his girlfriend at the time was a vegan, always cooked healthy, and you get to see what goes on like after
I think
eating
he was
all
vegan
this
as
stuff.
well. Like it was
Yeah.
like
Well, he
so it was like a
wasn't,
really
and then he
drastic.
was. Yeah.
It was like a
After,
really drastic diet
after
change.
the
So like
experiment, then
After the experiment, he's like, I
then
need
he
to eat more
became vegan.
leaves. More
yeah, really
leaves.
fucked up.
I just clogged my arteries. Oh shit.
So, and it's like people do this on the regular basis. And I mean, and you look at the schools, I mean,
Yeah.
we're not number one. I mean, I was in a college course where we looked at some of the highest countries, like education wise, and America was not on that list of being high. It was like Finland and countries like that.
I don't even think we're in
We're
the
not
top
any
10.
top 10 of
Yeah,
no-
no, yeah, absolutely not.
We're number 1 in incarcerated civilians. That's what we are.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's actually
I
true.
think the numbers are around
Yeah.
5% of the world's population and 25% of the world's prisons.
I think we're number 1 in all the worst categories. We're
100%.
number 1.
Yeah, we're the fattest,
Who's the
sickest.
fattest? Who's the worst? Who's the craziest? Who's this? It's all of
Our
us.
life expectancies are going down too, right?
Now it is, yeah.
And they take the wrong lessons from it.
The last couple generations are the first generations in human history that the child is expected to not live as long as the parent. Obviously, the parent will die before the child, but if
But
the
the
parent
life
was expected to live to
expectancy is
80 and the child's only expected to live to 78, it's like the first time in human history that that's happened.
But speaking of human expectancy, what is it? I heard it was like 70.
Oh, I don't know.
If you live to 80, it's a
I
blessing.
think it's 78, I think. I think it went down though.
Something.
Yeah, I thought it was 70. Or maybe now it's 70. It's dropping.
70. It's 77 in 2020, and yeah, it is actually like it was 78 in 2019, and in 2020 it went down a year.
Yeah. That's because we're being poisoned through our water, our food, our air, everything.
Yeah, everything is fake, organic. Organic this, organic that.
If it's
Yeah.
organic,
Well, I
it's
mean,
organic. It's either
No,
My-
it's not. But
my
they
question
write
to
it
you
organic.
though
Not organic.
is that because there's a lot of people who are who talk about like the issues with like the food industry and stuff like that, and how
Mhm.
they subsidize our government in various ways through corn and through other things to really like we regulate our food a lot less than other countries do, and like they
lot.
can get away with kind of making foods in worse ways than other countries. So wouldn't a solution for a problem like that be more rules for these companies to follow?
Regulations. No, the solution is in informed citizens, not you. All right. So in America, we're a capitalistic society. You
Yeah.
think voting for Joe Biden is voting? The way you vote in a capitalistic society is with your dollar. That's how you vote. You just put these companies out of business. If nobody's buying their poison food, that's
But how
it.
do you do that when the same, because everything's monopolized too, like a lot of these companies like that are in food, they have parent companies that are in media, that are in social media.
Propaganda.
So like yeah, when you get to the, like some people argue like we've been in that point forever, and this is like just corporations, not even getting into like the government side of it. So like when they're all like can control like the like what people are reading, what they're watching, like every aspect of their life, and they kind of put like a certain type of they give everyone like a certain mindset. Like how do you break through that, like without informing people
How you
to
know I
implement?
did it, honestly.
Okay.
Watch Alex Jones and go back and watch old Ron Paul.
Oh,
That's what
Do you
Those
still
are
watch
the
Alex Jones?
pages.
I actually put him on today for the first time in a long time. I was
I
watching
feel
him
like
today.
I don't know. I'm not like obviously like like you probably know like I'm like a leftist, so
He told
a lot
me,
of
but I don't know.
yeah.
I told him, yeah. I don't
Yeah.
want him.
But,
I say make sure you know.
I was gonna say like obviously I'm not a fan of Alex Jones, but I feel like there was a point in
Why are you
time
not a
where
fan? Can you elaborate on that though?
um I just well obviously I don't agree with a lot of what he says, like just on like ideological level. And I was gonna say too, I feel like there was a point in time where he was like a legitimate like anti-establishment type of guy. Like how you kind of describe yourself. Like I think there's time where he genuinely kind of was closer to that, but I feel like ever since Trump kind of came into the scene,
Well, he heavily supported Ron Paul, and
yeah,
he's
but that's
always had, like, as somebody who's watched them, right?
Mhm.
He's always had CIA whistleblowers on, FBI whistleblowers on. You understand? So he was dropping real news, real knowledge forever and ever. He was actually, this is 29th year on air.
Yeah, no, he's been like
That's
I've
crazy.
seen I've seen very old clips of him, and then some of them are like pretty are things I'm like, oh yeah, like okay, like that's fine.
Like when he snuck into Bohemian Grove.
Mm-hmm.
You know what Bohemian Grove is, right?
Was that the one I heard on Joe Rogan's podcast where it was like,
and every year after year, the politicians of the world get together in California called Bohemian Grove. Nixon
actually,
called it the gayest thing he's ever seen, or the gayest thing he's ever seen, one or the other, where it's all men.
Any trans people there?
They bus in
Trans-
male prostitutes and everything. Like it's some crazy shit.
What about the trans, bro?
And then they do a whole cremation of care ceremony where they burn a mock child essentially under Moloch, this big fucking owl statue of Moloch.
Come on, you believe
Yeah.
all that shit?
I
You-
saw it.
you
It
saw
happens year after year, every year.
Okay, all
I don't know,
right.
it got a little like that in particular is a little outlandish, but
Here we
Like, I
Bohemian
think-
Grove. Yeah, Bohemian Grove. It's in California.
you know,
Look it up.
I know
Look it
like
up.
yeah, obviously he's very much like he was against like the wars that were happening. So like I'm like there was a point in time where I feel like he was less partisan, but I feel like recently he's become more and more kind of like partisan. He's emphasized more, selling supplements and all that stuff.
Yeah, supplements, and he's a heavy Trump supporter.
Yeah.
But I think that's what he means by that. Is like now he just kind of like he's trying to go where the money is, and like right
Yeah.
now he might want to do that even more now than ever because of the case, right, with Sandy Hook.
That's ridiculous, by the way.
Well,
He's
what he's
He's entitled to have an opinion on something and not be sued about it.
Well, I'm assuming you would be against defamation in all cases, right?
Yeah, but there was no real defamation. There's videos of that father hysterical laughing 8 seconds before he's on camera crying. He's joking and laughing. Ha 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 ha, ha yeah, yeah. Oh.
I mean,
Maybe-
I think that shouldn't happen, but
I don't know. I went to Sandy Hook. I went personally. I drove there to investigate. And from my perspective, not even my perspective. How about this? I'll give you this. You can go to the FBI website right now. I'm sure you got your computer open right in front of you. Look up Newton, Connecticut, the year it happened, and the FBI says 0 murders. How about them apples? Why would the FBI say nobody was killed there? But if Alex Jones says nobody was killed there, that's $1 billion.
well, if it's like just their website saying that, then I mean you could chalk it up to not people not updating their website. I'm sure you're very familiar with government websites not really being the best thing ever.
This is the government FBI statistic website. Like, shouldn't it be up to date? All right, so let's
But
assume
I'm-
right, it's not up to date. It's 15 years later. It's still not up to date. What's the problem?
I mean, even still, like you could chalk it up to the same thing where it's like people know what happened. I mean, people did. Like I'm pretty convinced people died. And there's like examples from the other parents too. Even if that guy was laughing, I mean,
There's also
trauma's-
examples of the children that supposedly died in pictures with like Obama after Sandy Hook. Like, I'm not gonna go all out crazy Alex Jones conspiracy theorist, but him being sued for what he said is it's asinine to me.
I mean, I think like obviously again like we're not gonna agree, but I think for the case of defamation, it does meet that bar like from a legal perspective. I think just because like him saying that did motivate people to go further than even just like visiting school or whatever. Like they were contacting these people, like saying all these things to them.
Okay,
So-
so can the press
Like
do that?
so,
Can the press do that?
can the press do that?
Can I just come say something to you? Out of the blue, not even the press, as a private citizen. I can say anything I want to you.
Well, yeah, you could say anything you want.
Okay,
But
so
what I'm
what's the-
saying is that
Freedom of speech.
you're motivating. No, but this is like my full point is that you're motivating someone to say a certain thing, right?
How so? Say, if I'm
'Cause
out here screaming,
He's presenting it as like the truth.
Sandy Hook's fake,
But,
Sandy Hook's
but
fake.
this is half of my
Hypothetically
point. So let me finish.
If somebody goes and confronts one of the parents who supposedly lost the child, how is he responsible for that? First of all, and second of
Because
all,
he's
that
spreading
person,
it. Like I mean,
so
that's
what?
just
That person is allowed to go and speak and say anything they want.
I
Like,
mean,
but
I'll put it
when
this
it
way:
comes
like
to defamation, like it's just
there's
like
certain spots where you can't say certain things, right? Like
Yeah,
I think
and
we all
the other
understand
side
that.
of it too is like you can say what you think.
You can say anything you
That's
want
the
as
one
long as you're
thing.
not
Yeah,
inciting violence.
but if you can prove that he doesn't believe that, which I guess they were able to prove. I mean, but that's the other thing too, is that I feel like Alex Jones is
Because
kind
the
of like
text messages
become like
came
a
out.
phony. Yeah, there was text messages that came out that like kind
Yeah.
of showed that he was doing this for his own for his own like profit motive, and he doesn't, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the legal justification. It's like one, he caused like you could argue his words cause harm, and
I didn't
two,
read the text messages.
You don't
and
have
two,
That's what really got him in trouble.
you could
Really.
argue that based on the fact that he was texting in that way, that he's aware, like, oh, like this is all bullshit, but I'm gonna keep saying it.
You know what it was? It was the lawyer accidentally brought the text messages to I guess, to the other side or to the judge. I forgot what it was, but he printed the wrong stuff, and it was all from Alex Jones. And I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he just screwed
Yeah.
up the whole case for him. So I mean, that's what really got him in trouble there. But like to what he was
Actually, I
saying, there's
forgot about
certain
the whole thing
things
with
that you
the-
can't say. Like for example, like, you can't say fire in a movie theater. You know what I mean? If there's no fire, you know what I mean?
Violence and riots and all of that.
Wait, you said what?
I said you can't incite violence and riots.
But that was half of what they were arguing in that defamation case, though, was that he incited like threats of violence because people did threaten that family after, like.
He's not responsible for what other people do.
But when you like, actually no, I think there were videos. I have to check this, but I think there were videos of him like, kind of inciting, like, using that kind of language as well.
language, bro. This is
Yeah,
so
language.
crazy.
That's freedom of speech.
What the fuck, bro? This is crazy.
Yeah.
Language.
I mean, it's crazy how they got him on that. You know, I didn't know if they were gonna get him on any type of like freedom of speech stuff because he's been saying a lot of shit for many years.
Forever and ever.
Yeah, it's crazy how they got him like specifically on that. Like they booed him off of social media, but it didn't matter because he has his own website. He has his own show on his website.
Throughout history, Hitler did it. They all used the children to get the public sympathy to be on their side.
Oh yeah, well that's
But
what a lot
I
of
mean, but
people
I don't
thought.
know. Like I think I think that at this point, like it's like a kind of a closed case.
Yeah,
That shooting
it's
didn't
relevant
happen.
right now.
I mean, even
Yeah.
like to say that it didn't. I mean, there's so many mass shootings going on. It's like how did like all these shootings happen, but not that one? You
Give
know what I
people
mean?
more guns, there'll be less mass shootings.
But the fact of the matter is that there were shootings. Is what I'm trying to say. Because the
And
fact that
also-
there's shootings here is like, well, what was the Sandy Hook
Like the
shooting?
main
It was a
claim
mass shooting.
that Alex was like making
In a
under like
gun-free zone.
the conspiracy side of it was that, oh, this is a cover up so they can use it as a pretext for like a national gun ban. There never was a national gun ban.
They've been trying from
Well,
long.
not a national one. Like you could argue assault weapons. We can get into that, but
There's no such thing. If I hit you in the head with a rock, that's an assault rock. Now you're just gonna call rocks assault rocks. That's
again, like,
phrase.
but
that-
it's not like a legitimate. It's not a legitimate one. Like they want to ban AR-15. You could
That's just a
argue
rifle. That's a
whether they
rifle.
want to or not.
That's a rifle that's been
No,
around. Cowboys and Indians and all of that.
Yeah.
Muskets, those are rifles. That's a rifle. That's all that is. There's the word assault weapon or assault rifle.
I'm just using what they're saying. Like, but I'm saying it's not a 100% gun ban.
No, I'm
That's
trying
all
to correct your wording because that's a fairy tale. It could be anything in an assault bottle.
You get assaulted
You
with
understand
anything.
what I'm saying? It's
Any-
just a bottle.
Any gun.
Until I
is an
assault you with it.
Gun. Any gun.
You understand what I'm saying? That's the way they use it and try to push that propaganda brainwashing onto people.
But don't you think people called it assault rifle before the mass shootings?
No.
Like that was a word, like assault rifle. Like a lot of people use that.
says that.
Never that.
The media
And
pumped that out.
back in our day, no, it was
It's
never
just
that.
a rifle. It's you got a
What they-
semi-automatic rifle.
Yeah, what they trying to call is actually a semi-automatic rifle, which that means you have about 6 shots in your
Every time you pull the
in your
trigger,
magazine,
bang,
you go
one shot comes
bum,
out.
bum,
Bang,
bum,
bang,
bum,
bang.
bum.
Yeah.
Every time you pull the trigger.
So you could go bang, 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 bang.
That's a
So-
fully, yeah.
Well,
Right. And so now they spun that into a crazy word. They made a assault. Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's assault weapon. But every weapon.
Well, I mean, wouldn't they just be weapons designed like for war as opposed to like weapons for like hunting or something of that
It's the
nature?
best hunting weapon you can ever
No,
own.
I hunt. I have
Oh
semi-automatic.
yeah, obviously you can hunt with them, but like, obviously there are weapons that would be designed for like war versus for hunting. Like they could be interchangeable because obviously like you can kill people with any
Okay, so
gun.
the weapons for war are fully automatic weapons. The assault rifles that the media speaks of, like an AR, that's every time you pull the trigger, one bullet comes out.
Yeah.
So it's bang, bang,
Yeah.
bang.
The difference
You
between
understand?
fully
You're
automatic
thinking of a
and
machine gun
semi-automatic.
that like the military uses.
All right, but you have
That's
to
not what an
explain
AR is. though.
Semi-automatic and fully automatic. Fully
Yeah.
automatic, you keep your finger on it.
And
It has multiple shots,
And
like 20.
you can't get that. That's military, basically.
Military
Yeah,
grade.
no.
They don't
All of these
sell.
mass shootings are done with the same thing. It could have been a handgun, bang, bang, bang. But they're using something that is more accurate. It's a rifle, which makes it more accurate than a handgun because it has a longer barrel. And the AR is light, user friendly. It's like shooting a BB gun, no recoil, nothing like that.
Yeah, you see that
So,
in
like
the videos that come out.
there's like videos of Joe Biden telling women to go get a shotgun, and then all the women are falling on their ass shooting the shotgun. I'll let you know, by the way. Like I'm pretty experienced when it comes to shooting and firearm knowledge.
I can
was
tell.
actually an instructor. I taught about 100 people how to shoot. From kids ranging from maybe 8 years old to 60-year-old women. I've taught many people how to shoot.
I learned
Okay.
from my pop and uncles when I was like 12.
Yeah, I
Through-
started shooting at about 12 when I was in the Boy Scouts
through
here
the
in
hunting,
Brooklyn.
through the hunting world. That's
Wow.
how I started figuring out guns. and
Never
rifles.
shot a gun. I gotta say, I'm a true city boy.
Me too. I would like to, but yeah.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
you take this kid to a range, Steve.
For real.
Yeah. Well, when you got free time one day, set
When
it
I'm
up.
in town, I'll come.
Yeah. It's an experience you have to try at least
I
once.
take all my girlfriends, Chris. I'll take you.
Why?
Don't worry.
Hold on.
Well, I was gonna say, for me when it comes to guns, because obviously I said like what, I was trying to clarify like I guess the liberal Democrat position on it.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't think like a ban would really work.
Only the
Like, full
criminals
on?
would have them then.
Well, it's interesting because for mass shootings, like for most specifically mass shooters would be less likely to have them, but like everyday like gang violence and stuff, you're right.
So let me ask you a question. Where do mass shootings take place?
Schools, like shopping areas,
You know what those
cetera.
are called? Say it.
gun
You know-
free.
Gun-free zones, yes. Those are actually victim zones. Every
Okay.
mass shooting,
Actually, Chris told me about the victim zone.
I don't want to say
Yeah.
every, but I would
Well-
go as far to say 97% of mass shootings happen in gun-free zones because they know that the other person can't be armed and they can just go on a crazy shooting spree like the maniac that they are. And the maniac is always going to exist. You're not going to eliminate the maniac. So eliminating the gun isn't going to eliminate the maniac. Like you see
Definitely
in the Philippines or Thailand or London, people getting stabbed every day, all over the place. Mass stabbings, you see. You understand
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I mean, things are gonna happen, of course. But
Like, taking guns from good people,
yeah.
you only empower the criminals that don't follow the law. That are
Well,
like,
couldn't-
oh, I'm going to keep my gun, because I'm a criminal. Why would I give it in?
Well,
But
what
to
I would
that,
say
though,
with that. Oh, you want to say it?
I
Go
mean,
ahead.
I'll say sure, whatever. Like, I mean, one, obviously, like, guns kill people faster than knives do, even like not,
Okay, I got a
semi-automatic.
question. What kills more people here in America, guns or knives?
I wouldn't know, but
Well,
I could
I'll
see
tell you,
either.
it's knives, it's hammers, it's knives, hammers, and bats kill more people than guns. So you're not trying to ban knives, you're not trying to ban hammers, you're not trying to ban bats.
hmm
Why would you want to ban guns? Which is
But how many mass killings are there with
you got a
with
grandma,
those
right? You
weapons?
got a grandma?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. She lives alone?
No.
Who she live with?
Oh, her grandfather and my parents.
Your grandmother
Are-
lives with your grandfather?
Her grandfather or your
Or
grandfather?
my grandfather. I misspoke.
grandfather.
You know what I meant.
So I'm assuming they're up there in age, correct?
Yeah, in there.
If a couple of thugs kick their door in, what are they gonna do? Grandma can just grab the pistol, and that's it.
With a
the
hammer, I
opening
guess, right?
Yeah.
The knife, right?
equalizer.
Hold on, let me get my bat, Sonny.
A woman that gets raped without a gun gets raped. The woman with the gun that somebody
Well, she
tries
have
to rape.
pepper spray. I mean, that also works. But
Yeah.
I mean, look, I mean, I definitely believe that there's certain people that should carry guns for their own safety, of course. But what my position is, and what I think that Andrew's position also is that there needs to be background checks. I know you're totally against it,
Who
but
checks this? The corrupt and
well,
crazy.
I'll put it this way, okay? I have limited
on.
statistics. I have some
Let me put-
statistics.
Oh,
Let
you're
me
not a
put this-
tranny?
hold on,
No,
hold on.
you can't have a gun. Only trannies can have guns.
Hold on, bro.
You know, like
Who says that though? But that's the thing, like that, and that also became a new media thing where it's like, oh well,
all
now
agree on-
trans people are violent and this and that, and I don't understand where that came from over the one shooting.
My dude, you saw that license I was showing you before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The background checks go out the window. I pass 1 million background checks. Who's to say? Who's gonna stop me today, right now, if I leave this
if
show
you chose to.
and I chose to go and start shooting everything?
Well,
I
why
passed
won't
1
you?
million
Background check is useless.
I passed 1 million background tests, and I'm eligible to possess these weapons.
And we can make them better,
would you-
but
but
what
would
I'm
you do
saying,
that?
would you do it? Is the question.
No,
Like,
but here's
will
the
you
thing.
do
If
it?
you wanna do
But
heroin,
why?
do you want to go out and shoot up heroin? No. Correct? The answer is no. But if you
Absolutely not.
did want to, you can go get it and do it. So that background check doesn't mean anything. You can go get a gun everywhere, especially here in America. There's more guns than people.
I will.
They're
I mean,
everywhere.
honestly, it would
12 years old, not 12, 13, 14 years old in high school here in Brooklyn. And like, I don't know, maybe, I don't want to say every day because that's crazy, but a couple times a year, somebody will be like, hey, you want to buy a gun? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, this isn't like a
Yeah.
perfect like everything solution.
Oh
No,
no,
but-
of course.
but the
No,
point more
there's not
so
a
is
perfect
that
utopia world. We're
most
not.
mass shootings that
know?
happen, like the people get their guns legally. So if there's more like hurdles for them to get it, then it could potentially prevent that from happening.
Hold on. I want to cut you off. Sorry. I apologize for cutting you off, but I want to cut you off. Yes, they go get their guns legally in a place where everybody can have guns. And then they drive to a gun-free zone to go kill
and
people.
create the fucking murder.
But
And-
usually, what's the problem with these people? There's usually a problem, is there?
Yeah, but you're never gonna.
But
point
that's
it
what I
out.
mean. That's what I mean. There's a problem with them.
Yeah, but
You know,
there's no-
the kid
I-
that
the guy that passes you. Okay, you passed the crazy test.
Yeah.
How are you gonna? You could
But look-
people could play that off, and then you snap out like 2 hours later, after you have the
Doesn't
weapon. in your hand.
matter.
well,
The,
they
the whole jumping through hoops for government is not the way
Like
to
you
go.
said,
It's got
all
to be
those-
freedom.
All those guys
I-
that created the I don't know about all. I don't know the stats behind it, but they all had to pass the test to get those guns.
And also
right?
too, with when it comes to like situations with the good guy with the gun, like
Yeah.
that also isn't like really a solution for the mass shooting, because if you have a situation where there's like where someone like starts doing a mass shooting, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
and
I'm
then like let's say it's like at a mall or school or whatever,
Mhm.
like once the guy starts shooting at people, and then someone has a gun on them,
Yes.
or even like one or two or multiple people have a gun on them, and they start shooting back at the guy that's shooting them,
Yes.
then there's more people in the area who see just shooting and don't know what's going on. You know what I mean?
They'll
Like,
just
wouldn't
run.
that be problematic too?
They
So
scatter.
hold on.
They'll scatter.
There's a learning curve to this, just like anything else in life. You don't just get a gun and start doing this shit.
I'm not
You
saying
have
like
to understand how it functions and operates.
well,
fire.
actually, I think in
and
Florida
I'm-
they just passed a bill
knowledge.
saying you don't have to be trained to actually use
You
the
don't
gun.
have to be trained, but
But
people.
you should. You got to know how to fire it.
See,
hit
this
your
is
target.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You have to learn how to do these things. That's what I'm saying. I agree. Exactly.
sense.
also to like you talked about like, oh, like I could like get like I could do like all the logistics and stuff and then just go crazy one day. That's
Yeah.
true, but what's more likely than that honestly is you're trained how to use a gun, which most people like realistically aren't gonna like have a mental break one day. They're gonna probably stay in a
Everybody
similar
has a
state of
mental
mind.
break at some point in their
Well,
life. It's a long life.
I want to give him.
But I'm gonna say, like, to the extent,
Not to the
to the
extent you're going out wanting you to murder
Yeah,
people.
right. Like he's
and
saying,
what, honestly, what's way more likely, and you probably know this too, most like gun deaths in this country are suicides. So when that happens, more often
Correct.
than not, they'll just kill themselves than
That's
before
not a
anyone else.
violent crime, though.
Hmm?
That's not under the category of a violent crime, such as a mass shooting.
Well, it's still an issue with gun
it's
violence, though.
mental. It's a mental. You're
That's a
going
mental
through
thing,
something.
yeah.
You're going through something.
I mean, you're committing the ultimate act of violence on yourself, though.
In Japan, they stab themselves.
Really?
Somebody wants to take their own life, and
They're
I
gonna
check.
do it.
But I mean,
Really
listen,
love I feel like Darwin wins at that point. You know what I mean? You gave up. Good for you. Game over.
I don't. I
if
don't know. I
you wanna
can't subscribe just because it's like people. It could be anyone, right? Like it could just be, and they could have like families. They could be doing
Yeah,
things in their life, and then they just
everybody's a
have a.
person that has a family.
Yeah.
They all came out of their mom's birth.
Yeah, I
canal.
agree. That's why I think reducing the likelihood that they kill themselves is good. And having a background check for someone who knows like they have depressive
Hold on.
episodes and stuff,
You're
I think
talking
that's
about
fine.
somebody killing themselves with a gun. Why can't they just go jump off a bridge? Jump in front of a bus.
That
Why?
stuff.
Yeah.
So
There's a couple reasons actually. No, like
that
one,
goes back
one
to heroin. When you want to do it, you're gonna find a way. You
yeah,
understand?
I mean, no, but you're right. There are some people who are so committed to killing themselves that they will do it. That's true. But there's a lot of people who it's like a spur of the moment thing. They just do it and they just attempt it because whatever they're going through.
It should be quick and easy and over and done. I'm not gonna go drive
Yeah, exactly.
all the way to the bridge and only jump.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, so that's
Steve's
so
gonna drive. Steve wants to drive 4 miles.
if people
I have a specific
if people
location.
don't have access, like immediate access to that, like they probably won't kill themselves. And if they end up doing it anyways, then yeah, I agree. Like there are some people who are just so like far gone where they're gonna do that stuff. But it's like about reducing like the outcomes of it, making things like better overall.
I'll put it this way. I have a statistic that I wanted to say earlier, but I didn't get a chance to, and the conversation was going too good. But I have a list of states that have it's between permitless and permit required for these states, and the highest gun crime.
Constitutional carry. That's
Okay,
all it should ever be.
and in constitutional carry, so permitless. All right.
Yeah.
Most of the lists on permitless are the ones with the high crime. Mississippi, Louisiana, Louisiana. Actually, the only two, Louisiana and New Mexico, the ones that are on the top. They're in the top three.
Hold on.
They have required. Hold on. Then we got Wyoming, Alabama, Montana, Alaska, Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee. These are all permitless states. Now, I will give. All right, Alabama. They just made it permitless in 2023, so I'm not going to go too hard on them. And then you look at the mortality. So you look at the rates for the gun violence, and it goes down with the states that has it goes down with the permit required. Massachusetts, Hawaii, New Jersey, New York, Rhode Island, Connecticut, all these states. So it is safer with having a permit required than it is to go permitless.
I didn't see the statistics, but I know is places like London or Australia that did go ahead and ban guns, their violent crime skyrocketed.
I'm not for banning guns. Listen, like I said, me and Andrew we're pro Second Amendment, but we also feel that there needs to be some people that can't get a gun. And like I said, and I told you this before, the mentally ill kid, okay, who is
Alex Jones,
mentally ill person.
The First Amendment.
What's that?
So the mentally ill person. All right, yeah, mentally ill. Okay, but maybe that mentally ill person has no desire to hurt people. That mentally ill person, whether it's a he or she or a she, should have the right to defend themselves and the people around them that they love and care about.
If they're mentally stable enough to even do that, first.
Doesn't matter.
But that's what I mean, exactly. If they're mentally stable enough to do that, it's like, look, if you're
mentally capable of protecting themselves.
Say that again.
The doctors that assign them with the mental illness.
The doctors that are bought and paid for by pharmaceutical companies that control our government.
we could talk about different doctors and how I believe that some of them do that. A lot of them do that. Don't get me wrong. But there's some good doctors out there. I mean, listen, we're in New York, so we get good doctors. I believe there's good doctors in New York, right? There's much. You rather go to a doctor in the city than like in Oklahoma. Like I think we could agree on that.
They go to school that if the medical schools are funded by the pharmaceutical companies. The pharmaceutical company writes the textbook that they're learning from and all of that.
So how do we know that we even have mentally ill people at that point?
That's my point. Who gets to
That's
decide
who's saying that. Who calibrates that?
Who gets to decide? No, you're mental. You can't have it. No, you're okay. You can have it. And in other words, would it be all right to not let mentally ill people speak? Would that be okay? They can't speak anymore because they're mental. You shouldn't say anything.
But that doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
And there's no correlation, though. There is absolutely no correlation, because if you were to say, like, if a mentally ill person were to talk to you and have a conversation with you, they didn't kill 5 people in the action of doing that.
We're not talking about killing people at this point. We're talking about the right to defend yourself with a firearm.
Okay, I understand that, but the mentally ill kid, I mean, we look at a lot of the mass shootings that go on, and especially when it comes to schools, a lot of these people, unfortunately, they are considered losers, they're mentally ill, and they watch the Joker movie too many times, so what are they going to do? And they shoot up the whole school. And that's their plan. And it's unfortunate, and that's why I feel like they should not have these weapons. It should not happen.
All right, so you're talking about a kid in school that got bullied.
Yes, they grew up, they went back to the school, and they shot it up.
All right, and what happens?
And there's a problem there, and that's why I also am for metal detectors.
Have firearms with them. Like, all right.
Who, everybody else in the school? I would not be for that either. I would absolutely not.
NRA and Gun Owners of America, right? So, as somebody who is a firearm instructor, has been shooting my whole life, I love guns. It's like the greatest thing in the world to me. When Sandy Hook happened, the NRA called for government intervention. Put an armed guard in the school. And that's not the right answer. That's
I wouldn't put an armed guard.
That's taxing you more. That's not the answer. The answer always has to be freedom. The Gun Owners of America said, hey, let the teacher carry, let the parent carry, let the janitor carry, let the bus driver carry, you know what I mean? And now it's no longer a gun-free zone, aka a victim zone. That's the answer. The places that have the most guns are the safest places in the world.
But but I say it's not true, and I went through a statistic of that.
It is.
See, you're trying to manipulate the stats.
I know them as well.
Read off the stats.
No.
I just read off the stats, man.
Is what he read.
Listen, I mean, like, you could have the position, like like you want to like maximize like the freedom in your view, but I think having background checks is just safer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that just it is safer. Like, it just reduces like the likelihood that these kinds of like instances of gun violence happen.
And what if, and actually another thing, you said like, oh, well then the good guy could come in with a gun. What if there's another bad guy in the room that decides to team up with this random other person shooting up other people?
I think
that's another situation.
It's a bit more realistic. Like,
no, but it's like one of those things that you just think about. It's like, especially like in a school setting, like I would like.
That's where you're
absolutely not.
I don't know. That example you made, if there's another guy in the background,
what if there's another good guy in the background?
You know,
like, but that's it. We're going off of what ifs. But if in a school there could be no what ifs if we have guards and we have metal detectors, making sure that these kids walk into school
armed, you're gonna kill 2 people and then get shot.
I'd rather have.
I'm gonna tell you,
security guard with the pistol, not
if
the
you
security guard.
Absurd is it here in New York City? We got security guards in the school and they don't even have guns. What are they gonna do?
Well, you know what they do have? Metal detectors. If you could tell me when the last time a mass shooting happened in a school in New York City, then I could maybe agree with you. But until then, I can't.
I watched my friend get lit up right outside New Utrecht High School.
Outside. I'm talking about inside the school.
You remember? He got lit up.
But it's like
automatic weapons.
But that's why we have police on the outside, and then we have metal detectors, and we have guards on the inside.
What he's
Like,
talking
I'm
about.
not saying crime is gonna be gone. It's forever gone. It's like crime is still gonna happen, but there's certain places where it can be preventable, especially with young kids there, right? And then that's why we have cops on the outside. So if they
Only
see
way-
some go down, they're there.
Because they have guns on the outside, huh? So why not put the guns on the inside to protect them? You just follow your own logic here. You know what I mean?
Because I would not trust the teachers or the principal or anyone else with a gun in the classroom. I would not.
Your child. That's absurd.
But why wouldn't you?
That's
Obviously, oh, wait,
absurd.
but hold on. But why wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Obviously, they got to go through certain protocol first of all. You got to qualify to shoot and aim. You got to go through all that if they're gonna carry it and have it on them. A principal, a security guard, a teacher. No, so you wouldn't trust
I mean,
that?
the problem though with that, I feel like, and even like from like, I'm just thinking like from like a libertarian perspective, I feel like to really maximize the like the potential, like the safety of that kind of outcome, I feel like you would have to like invest a lot into that. You know what I mean? Like to have people like to have everyone in that school setting and in these professional settings like be
No,
trained to have a gun. No, like wouldn't you?
that's
That's
the
true.
whole point. They see the sign gun-free zone and they know nobody has a gun. Eliminate the gun-free zone and let people know that, yeah, they could have guns. Doesn't mean every teacher's armed. Doesn't mean every parent is armed. It's the ones that want
No,
to be.
he's saying
I'm
he
not
was-
saying get
but wouldn't
everybody
that?
going. I'm not saying
No,
it.
I
saying
understand that. I
would feel
understand that.
funny. How do you
But
supposed
I'm
to?
saying like
Yeah,
wouldn't that
it costs money.
wouldn't
Yeah.
implementing like
No, as
people like, but wouldn't that create more bureaucracy?
I'm not saying the government does it. I'm saying the government lifts the restriction. Okay, so the government can only create environment. Like the government can't create a job.
Well,
The only
They
jobs
they
they
can.
create.
I mean, they do. yeah, they do.
But I know what you mean.
Government can
Yeah.
only create the environment for private businesses to create jobs, or they can grow government, hire people to work for the government. You understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I'm not saying to have the government train anybody. I'm saying allow that person, the individual, the teacher, the janitor, the parent, the bus driver,
To train
whoever it may
themselves?
be.
But wouldn't
To-
results vary like wildly though? Like basically,
I don't understand what you mean by results. The
What he's
results
saying is that if you don't
Like-
train under the same structure as everybody else, if the government doesn't have a structure on teaching them and they go elsewhere to learn, wouldn't it be handled
not even go
differently?
elsewhere. But I'm just saying like that would mean that like some places would be safer because like the teachers and the faculty would
Yeah.
be like well trained in how to use guns.
That's
But then
correct.
other places would be less safe than they are now because they wouldn't know how to use the guns. Maybe they're not like mentally fitted to have a gun. Like just prescriptions and stuff aside. Like let's just say like
Well, that's the other thing.
because like you're just assuming like it's the current existing teacher body because it'll vary wildly.
Most of these mass shooters are on psychotropic drugs. That's a fact.
Okay. First of all,
Antidepressants and
you gotta have some type of training with a weapon if you're supposed to, if you're gonna be allowed to carry. Can you imagine cops if they had no gun training?
Thank
No, I
you.
agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. There should
Absolutely.
be. Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable with cops like having no knowledge or training of their weapon?
they basically don't, is
Why
my
do you
point.
say that? How could you say that?
Oh my God. I just told you how.
That's your crazy
6
like
months.
6 months and I'm a cop.
Yes,
And
that's
so-
how it happens.
okay.
That's fact. What do you mean?
Okay, so
you make it sound
what-
like I'm making it up.
no, so within that 6 months, so they never were trained to shoot a firearm.
Yes, they
Because-
were,
Okay, so
but not
you
every day, all day,
you're
6 months.
You're a
It's like
so-called
an hour.
gun instructor, right?
Yeah.
So how long does it take? You got to know how to actually hit your target.
I've been shooting for
Once-
45 years,
once
not
you-
6 months.
Once you hit your target and hit your
not
target,
45. Sorry, I was 12 when I started. So
when you hit your target on cue
it's like
every time when
33.
you want it.
Say,
that
make
means-
yourself older.
okay, you passed the target shooting class. That's how it goes. That's how.
America used to have target shooting classes in school. School used to teach you how to shoot. All across the country, schools. Like you had math class, science class, shooting class
Yeah, not here. But
in school. Bring
Where?
that back.
where?
Bring that. Yeah. What do you mean? Where?
You know what? I think they have it in a
Yeah.
private school. I think in Xavier they have that.
When 1904.
Possibly. I don't know the exact
yeah.
year, but that's how it used to be. Everybody was taught how to shoot. You can look right now. Look at Russia. I think it's like a Russian school that these kids are breaking down. It's like 10-year-old kids breaking down AK-47s and putting them back together. Boom, 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 boom. I break it down. You put it back together. Boom, boom, boom. Next kid breaks it down. Next kid puts it back together. Like shooting and guns and
Do you
all
have
of that.
a
It's just
source
part
for
of
like the school, like the shooting being part of the basic curriculum?
Sure.
So I'm like
You can look
actually
it up.
curious about
Look
that.
it up. Look it up. Google's your friend.
No, I'm googling, but like I tried to like I typed in U.S. shooting like class and curriculum. I keep getting like I get like actual school shooting stuff.
Yeah.
Let me see, because if I just type in like
It's keywording, right?
yeah,
what
like
it is.
now I'm getting like stuff from like the NRA, like for like classes that they have or whatever.
Put in 19, I don't even know what years. Let's say 50 um shooting classes in high school. Firearms. Use the word firearm instead of shooting, because if you use shooting, you're gonna get mass shootings. You know what I mean? It's all about the keyword.
Yeah.
I just have a question. With when we go back to like the mentally ill people and saying that how doctors are, connected with the pharmaceuticals, aren't
Mhm.
like a lot of these politicians and everything tied with the NRA and making money? So wouldn't that also fit in like the same
All right.
agenda?
Our politicians are bought off by everybody. We're a
Yeah.
plutocracy. Whoever can pay the
Of
most money
course.
owns them. That's all it is. That's why democracy doesn't work. Human beings are corrupt. So,
Well, if they're corrupted to
no,
buy guns, I'm just like,
my slave master just don't work because that person isn't trustworthy because they're going to be bought and paid off and, whatever.
but if the doctors are bought off, right, by pharmaceuticals and whatnot, and telling people you're mentally ill and you
Right.
can't do this or can't do that, wouldn't the NRA also take place in that matter?
Yeah, it's possible for them too. Everybody can be
Yes.
paid off.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They're not excluded.
I'm not excluding the NRA. And I said earlier that
Okay.
I'm not even a big fan of the NRA because after Sandy Hook, they chose to call for government expansion rather than citizens having their rights and exercising their
Okay.
rights. The gun owners of America, in my
I found
opinion,
this
are a
thing
better
about
organization.
about gun clubs in schools.
There's
Mhm.
clubs and activities,
Like
but
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but
I'm
same
on the
idea,
football
right? Because
team.
it
I'm
it
on the
teaches.
football team. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
part of the gun club. I'm a cheerleader or whatever,
So
That
it's
was
like
part of school.
No, it's an optional. You made it sound like it was part of the curriculum. They had gun
yeah.
class.
Maybe
oh yeah, you did. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
huh?
Like it's totally different.
maybe at one point in time they did.
My dude, you're apple and
We
orange.
found
bro.
one article. Relax yourself.
Apples and oranges, two different animals.
I don't think it was part of the curriculum, but maybe it was. I just can't see
Yeah, it
that
was.
happening.
I'm everything I see. It's more about like team, like club sports stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a sport in schools. I could join the chess team or the gun club.
Yes,
I mean, gun
that makes
clubs
better
happen
sense.
in certain
You know,
schools.
it was
And
a
where
little,
does that take place?
good
In
Oh,
damn.
school. In school.
I think
And it
Xavier actually has that in the
probably in a
city.
field
That's
somewhere.
cool.
Yeah.
At a range, they
You
take
got to
you.
bring your gun to school
At a
because you're part
range.
of the gun club.
No, they probably take
No,
you
I don't think they bring the guns. I think they have the
Wait,
guns
but
there. I don't think
but
they would.
this still
to a
kind of
range, bro.
supports. This still supports what I was saying though, where it's like if you were to implement what you're saying, like, and for it to actually like be sustainable, like, the government was pretty involved in these school like shooting clubs or whatever.
Rockefeller started the Department of Board of Ed.
Well, yeah, I mean, but
Yeah. Because he
no, but
wanted slaves. He wanted workers, not smart individuals that think for themselves, not free thinkers.
well, we could talk about
There's
problems with
a quote, there's
education,
a
but
quote about that, I think he says. I don't know word for word, but it's something along those lines.
yeah, but I'm just saying though, like, because if it like how it exists in our system, it's like that is like school is a pretty like public schools are like a government thing, and
Mhm.
these shooting clubs
Period.
were like instituted
Sure.
by the
And the government involvement in schools. How about that?
I can't say I agree. I don't know. I think everyone, because especially right now, like I think wealth inequality is so crazy. Like having people like pay for school on top of that too. And me and Chris went to private school, so like
You
our
don't think
parents
you
know what
pay
it was
for
like.
school?
Hmm?
You don't think people pay for school?
They do, like in various ways. And yeah, there are people who,
Funding
but
comes from.
not everyone can. You know,
It
like
all
that's the
comes from
thing.
taxes. We pay their salaries.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, we get taxed and stuff, but that that's a
And
lot different than having
taxation
to
is
pay
theft.
like 10,000 whatever amount of dollars per year for like school.
Back to the mafia. They got to get their cut.
That's
Everything is a
exactly
cut.
what it
Cut.
is.
Cut. They got to get their cut.
That's exactly what it is.
Speaking of
Yeah.
tax, I heard it's going up now more, right?
Yeah, taxation is theft.
Taxation,
I
taxes,
know that's your
taxes.
motto,
Yeah,
but
taxes, especially in New York, they don't go down. So
Yeah, of course, they never
Yeah,
go
but
down.
what are we
Never.
at now?
maybe you'll get Zelda in like 30
Nor
years.
does our debt
Huh.
as Americans never goes down.
Oh
Our
yeah,
taxes
that's
only pay the interest. We never touch the principal.
What percentage
Yeah.
of the tax are we on right now? 8.75? Or
No,
no?
you're talking sales tax.
Yeah.
No, we're talking general taxation, and it's like 40%. So at what point do you become a full-blown slave? Is what I guess I want to know. If everybody's okay paying 40, 50% in taxes, at what point are you not okay? And it's like, all right, this is too much. Now I'm a slave.
Well, I mean, depending on like your status and stuff like that, you kind of already are in a way. But like obviously, I think there's like an extent to like which you agree. But because for me, like when it comes to taxes, it's less about the idea of taxes. It's more about like, okay, well, like obviously to run the government, like they need money.
To run
So
the
it's
government, to pay themselves. That's all it is.
well, yeah, but like,
Like, all right, for example, I'm here in New York, right?
Mhm.
If I park at a fire hydrant, there's no fire, no emergency, no nothing. I get a $175 ticket by the Department of Transportation guy, right? So the
DMV.
Department of Transportation is collecting $175 to pay that motherfucker's salary and pension.
oh yeah.
well, the idea though is
That's
for
It's
like to
straight
run the
up,
government,
straight up
and also,
extortion.
but also like the government's purpose is to serve the people. Like that's what I was gonna get to. So if people are being served,
No, not according
and
to the forefathers. The government's purpose was to leave the people alone. Free individuals.
I mean, there's many ways you can achieve like freedom. It's not
Today's
just
world is everybody running free, doing whatever the fuck they want.
As long as I don't
Uh,
violate somebody's
yeah.
rights or hurt anybody,
Yeah.
yes. Like drinking and driving should be legal until I kill the mother and her kid. And then
I'm sorry. Whoa, wait. Drinking and driving should be legal?
yeah, it used to always be illegal up
yeah,
until
but
I
then
think
it
in the
became
80s
too
or
much of an
70s.
issue. I imagine.
Yeah, it became
No.
too much of an issue. Absolutely. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
back this
See, the
up.
thing is too is that it's
They
like
just figured out that we could, hey, start fucking locking people up and making money and charging them for all of this. Anytime you go to court, the state makes money.
I mean, yeah, there's precedent for them doing stuff. Like I think drugs are a great example of that, right? Like people
Drugs
and
won
they
that war.
Hmm?
Drugs won that war.
yeah, clearly.
Wait, won. The
Wait,
war on
don't
drugs
you?
is
But
Wait,
the difference
hold
between
on.
but the difference between drugs and like driving drunk is that people can do drugs for reasons that aren't harming people, whereas like and even to the extent that you harm people, the scope of it is mostly limited to yourself.
Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are enjoying this podcast so far. Unfortunately, I got some sad news. My computer was overheated during the podcast due to the hot weather, and 40 minutes of the podcast has been cut due to the fact that it didn't save. So Benny and Steve, they were having their own problems with the cameras, but thanks to them and their camera issues, the videos and audio prior to me saying this were recorded in small increments, which led to us actually having those video and audio files. So we are so sorry about this, and we hope you understand, and we hope you enjoy the rest of this podcast. And also to mention, the next few minutes, you're not going to see any video is just going to be a picture up there, and I'm sorry about that. If you're listening right now and only listening on Spotify or elsewhere, this doesn't matter for you guys. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the podcast, and again, so sorry about this.
What's misogyny mean?
Just hating women for like silly reasons and stuff.
He said hating women. He actually knew it.
No, for silly
for you.
reasons.
I give
He
you
said
that
for
one.
silly reasons, but he actually knew the meaning of it.
Yeah,
The
so I said I
hatred of-
give him that one.
Hatred of women.
Most
Well, would
women
you-
don't know it. Most women are like, oh, he's misogynist. And then it's like, well, what does misogyny mean? And they're like, I don't know. But I got it. That's how it means.
I don't know if people you'd be
You
talking to.
actually
The bar's
know
on the bar's really on the floor. But yeah,
He's not a misogynist. He says women should be cherished and the most special thing on the world
Mm-hmm.
and all of that. Like that's
mean-
bullshit. He's not a misogynist. I've watched hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of his content.
that I've heard. I heard
big,
you're a big fan of his.
I am a big fan. I think he's doing society justice. I
Trying,
think it's
to.
needed. Yeah.
trying to at least.
Trying to at least, yeah. I think it's beneficial to the world.
Okay, I said it on the show too. I said that I think that like his prominence and him being like this big like star and stuff. I think there's a reason it happened. Like
But
there's
he
truth.
wasn't a star. He was a multi-millionaire, almost billionaire that chose to do this because he sees the world fucked up, a whole clown world.
I don't know. I think he I mean, you can't deny he became like a star though, like from doing
Oh
this
yeah,
stuff.
he
and
became a
more.
star because he was speaking truth. That's the only way you become something.
Yeah, well,
You
I
know
mean,
it's not always true.
okay, yeah, like I mean, in general, like even beyond him, like there's people.
Yeah.
Agree.
The only other way you become something is when, like, it's promoted by those corporations,
A
like
lot of
the Bud Light
brainwashing, yeah,
shit
a lot of
or whatever. You
brainwashing,
understand what I'm saying? He's an individual. He doesn't have corporate backing and this and that. He's just an individual speaking his mind and blew up. You understand what I'm saying? It's different.
But the thing is that he definitely took advantage of like social media algorithms and whatnot to get there too. Like even if it's not direct, like
Are
this
you not
corporation.
doing it,
He
Andrew?
knows the system. They know.
Andrew,
the system.
take
Yeah.
advantage of that algorithm, right? It would
No,
benefit.
I'm not. But I'm saying like
What's the problem?
But what I'm saying is that that's another way that people can be influenced to say and do things that aren't always like in the best interest of themselves or others. Obviously, like financially, it isn't his best interest. But what I mean is,
Just to let you know, we filmed
I don't know.
And then you redo it.
in New York, right?
Depending on like your status and stuff like that, you kind of already are in a way. But
Right.
for the people, like
Doing whatever the fuck they want.
As long as I don't violate somebody's
Yeah.
it is though. Like, and there's
Yeah.
evidence of them talking about it too.
trafficking.
Hmm?
You said trafficking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like traffic, like
Well-
from one country to another.
Well, there's more evidence of the women saying, "Yeah, I want to do it. Yeah, we're gonna do this. Yes, yes, yes." Leaving
Well,
this
not.
going jogging, going shopping, going on vacations on their cell phone. How are you trafficked if you're able to live freely? He made these women millionaires. There's actually
Not all, no, actually, quite the opposite. He scammed a lot of them.
no. He
a lot of
made
what they're
many
worth.
women millionaires. And the ones
But
that are
there's-
accusing him of all this shit, there's actually their WhatsApp messages proving his innocence and them plotting against him. Oh, say he raped you. Yeah, you're a good actress. Yeah, okay.
Well, there's some people that admitted, there's some people that he admitted to like basically raping though too. It's on video of him
No.
saying that.
No,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah, there
fact.
is.
No,
Oh
no.
boy, here we go.
Andrew is not a big Andrew Tate fan, as you
Said-
can tell.
He said, she said. That's all this is. Back and forth. No, yes.
There's
yes.
no
yes,
charges,
yes.
no charges filed, and no evidence whatsoever. Honestly.
Well, he was charged though.
No, he was not charged. In Romania, it's different. In America, in order to go to jail, you have to be charged. In Romania, they can lock you up while they investigate. He was under investigative detention. No charges against the man. None whatsoever. No charges. He was not charged. Investigative detention. Look it up. I see you looking it up right now.
Well, it says that. Okay, I have to see because it's like maybe the specific language, like they weren't technically charged, but it does
Oh,
like so everywhere I've read it about it, they said they were charged.
Anything. Nope. There's no charges. No charges filed. No evidence in the file. They've been investigating since last April. It's been a year. And there's no charges, no evidence.
Bro, Steve's part of his lawyer team, bro.
Right. Listen to his lawyer.
I've
Yeah.
heard.
100%.
Steve works for him for 3 cents an hour.
Yeah.
he
Agreed.
works for him for free.
Do it for 37 cents a day.
And what color is your Bugatti, Steve?
I don't have a Bugatti.
Exactly.
Well, you're making 30 cents to represent him. You'll never get that Bugatti. Closest thing you're getting is a Hot Wheel.
I should demand the minimum wage.
Yeah,
right?
it says that. It says he was charged for this stuff before being put on
Okay.
arrest. That's like that's like
You looking at
I don't know.
ABC News?
I'm looking at like all of it. I don't know. Like I'm looking at like
There's no charges against the man yet. I'm telling you. Look deeper, dig deeper. That's all I'm saying.
well, what source would you recommend?
Right. Go ahead. Go ahead, lawyer.
I
Steve.
honestly don't have a source. You can, look up his lawyers. Go
Well,
look up the videos.
they're his
of-
lawyers. Of course, they're gonna.
If they- whoever they-
You can't just go off their lawyers, Steve. There's other sources out there. There's gotta be. And don't
Like
tell me
if he has like the most
Client's
interest in
charged.
having it be innocent.
My client's in jail. That means he's not charged, right? The lawyer is
Well,
not.
of course, they're gonna want to say something that makes him look better, though. No.
Bury their client, bro. What are you talking about?
But it's not burying him. The lawyer's got to be honest. The lawyer's got to be like,
No,
he's been
lawyers
charged
lie.
with this, but he's innocent.
Lawyers lie, bro.
Instead,
Just
They're
like
saying
everyone else.
not charged, no charges,
Lawyers lie. Just like
investigative detention. That's why they've now been put on house arrest. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
They're on house arrest.
Well, now he's on.
They're being investigated.
See, I what I hear is that he's innocent, and I would double down. I would agree if you just had a source, Steve. If you just had a source that wasn't just his lawyer.
Find one. I'm not looking for it now.
In Steve's
All right,
defense,
that's
there's
fair.
a big difference between indictment and actual conviction. So
He hasn't been indicted. He hasn't.
Oh
been-
yeah, no, I absolutely agree, and that's why I look at it. I'm like, yeah, there's a good chance that he didn't do anything. And it was crazy because if you look at the stuff that came out before with all the voice lines and everything, the voice clips, it's kind of crazy. So it's like, you know,
AI, baby. They're trying to shut him up and silence him.
you think they did the AI voice to him?
Okay. Socrates, the philosopher. Everybody know this guy?
Yeah.
Am I speaking gibberish right now?
No,
know
everyone knows who Socrates is.
Okay. He got locked up for telling the masculine youth to not just blindly follow orders. And that's dangerous to the elite that run shit. And that's what Andrew Tate is doing.
I don't think he's.
but
I don't think he's
history.
dangerous to the elite order, though. I really don't.
I'm not.
Yeah, I don't think he's dangerous.
I think because
Fake,
mean-
you're in a matrix. They're brainwashing you. Money is fake. This is fake.
okay,
He's
mean,
putting them on to the
he
way
can
they-
say that stuff, but like his goals is like he's putting these men on like a hyper consumerist kind of lifestyle of work and
do it all.
look. I think so. Yeah, like he encourages people to
Yeah,
like
he
spend all
makes
this
it
money
so
on these
He
products.
makes Watch more.
That is actually true.
I'm
I
not
mean, but that's
denying
like,
that
but
he's
I'm talking. I mean, but the thing is too is I'm looking at the stuff that's like reaching the most people, like the most viral clips.
got
Like
fun
that's.
and this and that. Watch his long form content, and you'll.
But his
get,
long form content isn't really like the most. Like that's not.
The most viewed, he's trying to say.
That's not what's getting people's like attention. That's not what like
course
is.
not.
That's not what people like. Even people who like him, like that's not like really what they're in for.
You know who
Really.
Patrick Bet David is.
Hmm?
Patrick Bet David.
What about?
David?
The valuetainment guy. You don't know who that guy is?
Hold on, wait.
You know who Joe Rogan is, right?
No,
Yeah,
Rogan,
yeah,
of
yeah.
course. I mean,
Yeah, we talked about.
Patrick Bet David might
guy.
be like the number fucking 2 or 3 or 4 guy on the podcast list.
Oh, okay. I know this guy. I've actually.
Okay.
I
He
know this
did a
guy.
5-hour interview with Andrew Tate. I
is that
highly
the one you sent me?
What? Yeah, I did send that to you.
It's
All
5
right,
hours.
Andrew, we'll watch the 5-hour Andrew Tate interview to get the understanding that he's not telling you just to buy products.
That is the best interview of Andrew Tate
But that's
anybody could ever see.
But
That's my
I
point,
think
though.
that
It's
was
like-
Andrew's point.
people aren't like even people who a lot of people who like him, like they're not getting their impression of Andrew Tate off of like a 5-hour interview or watching like all the Hustlers University and stuff. They're getting it off of like seeing like him flash his Bugattis and his body and
My
being like, you know, you gotta work and like, you
It
know.
was your Bugatti.
Like it's funny, but
Well, that's what it is. They see a fucking 10-second clip and they make their
They
assessment
take it out
of
of
him.
context.
You know, they take him as a douchebag because that's
Yeah,
how he
'cause that's how he
presents.
well,
look.
some people take that and at face
Because-
value and they like it too, though. Like it's not just
No.
like it's a two-way
Nobody
thing.
likes
Especially
it.
when Tate was first saying the stuff that he was taking, I mean, the guy is not totally palatable. He's pretty raw. So like, for someone like us, we'd take that and be like, oh, okay. But like people who not used to raw content are gonna look at that and be like, what an asshole, you know? Because he definitely before he got big and when he was making the stuff, he was as palatable.
You know, when your feelings,
they say.
fragile Gen Z
Yeah, bro, it's
bullshit.
crazy.
Oh no, I'm not talking about me. That did not affect me at all. I'm just saying how it is objectively. Like he is a raw guy.
Do you need a safe space?
I think he does.
Do I need a safe space?
I wasn't.
Did you ever hear? All right. Did you ever hear the saying "Sticks and stones may break my
Oh
bone"?
my god.
Words will never hurt me.
Oh Jesus.
Nowadays,
We got two boomers with us.
Yeah, nowadays these words cut like razors nowadays.
I totally agree. I think that there's certain words, certain buzzwords that gets people triggered basically, right? Like I believe that's definitely a thing here. But you can't also say that he's not palatable. Like he's definitely not a palatable guy.
He is palatable though.
No, I'm saying his original videos that got him that. I'm not talking
They
about
are
the videos that came
palatable.
out.
They
I-
are. What?
No.
To the
Because
to
what
the
he's
people,
trying to
to the
what
people
he's trying to say is
reach,
pretty
they're
raw.
Very palatable.
What he's trying to say is pretty raw.
It's raw,
And-
but it speaks to a real insecurity a lot of guys have.
It does. I'm not saying it
Right.
doesn't.
Yes, a lot of guys have a lot of
But
insecurity.
he comes off as raw. That's why they look at him and say, "Oh, you're an asshole," because he comes off as raw. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything wrong here. He
Okay,
does
but-
come off raw, and like that's when people and those people when they see that are not used to raw footage, they're gonna look around, they're gonna look at him, and they're like, "Wow, what an asshole." So that's
So
just
what he's saying is you may have an insecurity, but the idea is overcome that insecurity. Stop being insecure.
I
Become
don't know. Like I there's a lot of messages I
Great
agree with Tate.
version
know,
of yourself.
yeah, I totally
Work
understand
hard.
that.
Work out. Do
There's like
everything
few
you
things
to
where
become
I'll
better
disagree.
as an
right?
individual.
There's a few things that I'll disagree with him on, and I told you before, Steve. It's like when he says, "Oh, well, if you're gonna start like an OnlyFans or something like this, that I get percentage of the money, or whatever it was. Like if the woman makes money in a
If
way, then I get then he
I
gets a
told her.
percentage."
I told her this 100 times because she keeps contemplating it. She's like, maybe I can make money doing that. I'm like, all right, you want to make an OnlyFans? I'm going to be your manager. Take 10% off the top. You're selling my pussy. So I'm going to take a percentage of that too.
That was very funny.
And
Uh,
that's the way it's going to go.
So you would take a percentage of her
Sure.
for her to put
You're
herself
not
out
going
there.
to be with me anymore. And
Yeah.
that's the mentality he presents.
Yeah.
And I recognize it. I'm not going to be with a girl
but that's not for
and
everyone though.
selling and
that
pop-
Yeah.
mentality.
for $3.99.
I think that's Chris's point though, is that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I agree. I think there's a lot of people who think that way, and there's a lot of people who either think that way or they just don't know what to do, and they're just kind of like they want like some kind of guidance, and he provides like his guidance to it.
So
That's
if I'm
why.
going to be 100% honest, this is where they're going to get him, right? Because he's not going
Okay.
to shut his mouth. He's going to keep talking.
Okay.
Where they're going to get him is not on some misogyny, rapist, trafficking shit, because there's no evidence of any of that.
Okay.
Where they're going to get him is the tax evasion. Yeah, that's how they're going to
You're
get him.
probably right.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now. I've said it from day one. That's how they're going to get him. He's admitted it on camera. He's guilty of it. In other words, you understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But that's
Yeah.
all they got him on. There is no rape. There's no sex trafficking. All of that
Yeah.
is bullshit. That's a way to slander him. We were talking about defamation. That's what the mainstream media is doing to Andrew Tate. Real
I
crime, which taxation is theft. So to me, it's not even an actual crime. But that's how they're gonna get him. That's the loophole, like fucking Al Capone. That's how they got him.
Hey.
All right, Chris, you making progress there or what? What's going on, cuz?
Benny's
Oh, I've been recording. I've been
Oh.
recording.
Oh, you're recording this?
I was recording this whole bit.
DJ Pillow is spinning.
You were recording this whole shit the whole time?
Yeah, well, I was gonna
Oh.
just end the conversation. You guys were talking. Why would I end that?
No, I thought you were gonna retract back and continue where we left off.
Yeah. All
Gonna do
right.
a ending.
So Andrew, right?
Okay.
Here's what I suggest you do. Where in Massachusetts you live? Southern, northern, western, eastern,
Western.
western. All right. Northwest, southwest,
Like Northwest.
northwest. Good. Go to New Hampshire to a gun range. Just go do it. Go do it. It's liberating. It's fucking stress free. It's amazing. Go do it. I recommend it. Please do that for me.
Yeah.
Take a
I do want to one day, like actually.
and do it.
Okay.
Yeah, he said he was down with it. Him and Chris wanted to try.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we're pro Second Amendment, but it's just we have some disagreements with the
Truckers there.
background checks and all that.
Yeah, okay.
He's like, yeah, prove second
Yeah.
okay.
I'm gonna tell you a story right now, right? Me, him, and my other friend. We won't mention names. Right? We go to the gun range. It's a public gun range in a public park. Right? It's not a business. It's nothing. Anybody and their mother can go there, bring their guns, and shoot. Right? So I bring my gun, he brings his gun, and we bring our friend, and we let our friend shoot the guns,
Okay.
So my friend is like downrange, everything good, bang, 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 bang. And then eventually the gun jams. Right?
Yeah.
Check it out. This is an uninformed, unskilled, uninstructed person with a gun. He's like, oh shit, it jammed. Bang. And there's somebody standing right here.
like we're
Like
next
the
to him.
bullet
There's
went
people
right over
like,
their head.
Oh my god.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mind you,
And that guy that he almost shot was there with like 20 of his friends that had like incredible firepower. So like, what would have happened? We would have probably been dead right
Yeah.
there.
mind you, there was alcohol involved in this.
Yeah, everyone's drinking, partying, chilling.
Oh man, that's a disaster story
That's
ready to
scary,
happen.
yeah.
Oh, that would be scary.
Green.
Yeah. Pro drinking. That's for Steven, baby.
Drinking, shooting, drinking, driving. Steve, you're
I'm what?
interesting.
Let me hear it.
Interesting.
He's living on the edge, bro.
I
He's
didn't.
living on the edge.
My friend almost did that.
Yeah.
That's
He
not
wants
me.
the world to live on the edge.
He wants the world to live on the edge.
I would never crash into a
No, no,
person. I
stop.
would never shoot somebody.
Unintentionally. Never say never. Those are strong words, man.
I've been crashed into.
Yeah,
I didn't crash into people.
All right, not yet. Hopefully, it never happens.
Yeah, of course not.
All right, so but you
I'm
can't
just
never say
saying.
never. You
Okay,
never.
so
have.
I'm speaking on what I have not done this, and you interrupted.
You have never done
Yes, I have never done that.
as of now.
Yes, that's what never means.
As of now, but not never. I took it out of it would never happen. You said I would never do that.
I can't predict the future.
You said those. Let's rewind the tape. You said I would never do that.
He did say never.
Never.
No, I think
He
you
just
said
said it again.
I would never do it. Never do it and have never done it is two
Same
different.
difference.
No, it's not. Up to date, you haven't done it.
Anyway,
Oranges
played
again. This
with
is what I
many
mean.
guns.
Apple and orange.
I drove tractor trailers, dump trucks, cars, trucks, everything. Never did any of that. Never crashed, never shot anybody, never wanted to, nothing. Doesn't matter. High, drunk, this, that. I'm responsible for myself. I don't understand how that's such a strange concept to people.
No, it's not because it's just because of you, but it's the other people. Because not
Yeah.
everyone's responsible.
That holy shit, if I run this family over, I'm probably going to jail for a long time. Or if I shoot these people, I'm probably going to jail for a long time.
But a lot of these people, if they were to drive drunk and they got like really drunk and they drove, they wouldn't understand what's going on sometimes.
Ability comes in. You are responsible for yourself. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
You're responsible for yourself. The government cannot protect you from yourself or protect somebody else from you. So I'm not for security. I'm for the constitutional police, which is actually a sheriff. Sheriffs are voted upon.
Okay.
It's a democracy, and I'm not all for that. I get it. This is why I stray from a libertarian constitutionalist to an anarchist. You understand? Like, I borderline it.
Yeah, it's like
If,
it's a little
if
interesting.
government is going to be a necessary evil, it should be libertarian. However, I don't think we need government. We should just be anarchists.
I feel like we do need some form of government, and I think that having like I think there does need to be something that keeps people in check, and I think having I think democracy is just the
Keeping
best thing we
people
can really
in
strive
check.
for.
So you said, I think there should be someone or something that keeps people in check, right?
Yeah.
Word for word, that's what you said, right?
Yeah, just now.
So that's a slave master. Are you a free person if there's someone keeping you in check? No.
But under even what you said, like you're more like your form of government, like libertarian, like that there still would be an element of a slave master there because they would still enforce some rules, right?
I said libertarian if the necessary evil has to exist. However, that necessary evil really don't need to exist.
Well, that's the core of it. I think it needs to because in its place something I think would come up, and I think that could lead to even more problems, or at the very least the same kinds of problems that we go through right now.
Okay. So
Anyway,
Because I think, yeah, I just think that the problems are just because people's interests aren't being represented enough. They're not being represented too much.
do me a favor. You're in Massachusetts, right on your border, right there is New Hampshire. Look up Pork Fest. PORCFEST. Pork Fest. And go there. That's the biggest libertarian festival in the world. People come from everywhere. France, Germany, fucking Thailand, everywhere.
Okay.
Go there. I'm telling you.
Actually, when is this? That would actually be great. I would actually go with
Yeah, I was
Andrew.
gonna say Chris would
Absolutely.
probably come.
Yeah, I'd
End of-
actually go.
I'll go with you still. I've been
Oh,
there
absolutely.
3 times already.
Nice.
They're going on.
When is
it's
it?
The 22nd Pork Fest. It's usually like the last week of June. PORC Fest. Highly recommend it for everybody. It's the greatest place on earth.
There we go. Oh, porcupine. Okay. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Pork-
That makes sense because that's the logo
Yeah.
of
No.
the Libertarian. Well, it's one of the logos, right?
Yeah, it is the logo. We
Yeah.
took the Gadsden flag, the "Don't Tread on Me" with the snake,
Yeah.
and modified it to the porcupine, because a snake will still bite you. You don't have to fuck with a snake for a snake to bite you, but you need to fuck with a porcupine for it to fuck you up. So the libertarians adopted the porcupine and put it on the Gadsden flag. Don't tread on me with the porcupine.
Okay.
I think that's definitely interesting. I never knew that before.
Largest
This is like
libertarian
yeah, this is like a
festival in
week
the world.
long. Oh my god.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's
week
great.
long.
Great.
Wow.
This is where I was a firearm instructor. This is where I taught everybody.
Oh nice.
That's crazy. And you also been, and speaking of like events, you said you've been to CPAC before when Ron Paul was there.
Yeah, I was there in 2012 or around there, maybe 2011, 2013, whatever. But around there.
It had to be before the election, so it had to be like a 2011, 2012 type
And
of
it's
deal.
crazy. I bought my tickets, everything. And when I got there, they didn't have my information. And you know what's crazy? This is another reason why it's all fake. It's all corrupt. They were like, "Don't worry about it. We'll give you a fake name, a fake pass, a fake everything." I swear to God, that's what happened. I was like Daniel something. I have a picture of that too.
Did they know why you were going there? Like, did you state your reason, or is it just happened?
No, I just bought a
Well, he was
ticket.
going for
Me
general
and my
admission. He wasn't
friend-
going for.
General admission. That's crazy, dude.
You think
You
he's
know,
gonna be a
I had
Ron Paul surrogate?
I had a little bit of an issue when I walked in there. Like, they said, "Oh, we're gonna send you a QR code, this and that," because I was doing the media pass and everything.
They sent me upstairs to the hotel room to fucking some private spot. It was weird. It was weird. It was
Really?
all fugazi, manipulative, fucking dirty shit. I'm
Hmm.
telling you, it's all fake, bro. It's all fake. It's all a scam just to fucking propagate power to you. That's all it is. This is why I say I'm not even political anymore, because it's all fake.
I don't know. We've been doing this for like maybe 2 hours. Though on the record, it doesn't seem that way because right now a lot of footage is lost. But I think you're very political. I think it's a great thing. I think more people should get political and know what's going on.
He's super.
Yeah, but
political,
most
this
people
kid.
go,
He's
I'm
super political.
freedom. I'm not political. Fuck these politicians. Fuck voting. Fuck a Republican. Fuck a Democrat. Just be free. Free humans. Free citizens. Not even citizens, humans. Free humans. I'm not a citizen. I don't belong to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a human being. Fuck that government.
Until you snap out and kill everyone. With no regulation.
With my knife. I'm going to do it with a knife because
Whatever
guns
you
are
do.
bad.
You're gonna get less. Well, you'll get less people.
Whatever you could do.
I won't
it doesn't-
because nobody else has a gun. I'll kill everybody with a
maybe
knife.
someone
Nobody has
will have a
gun.
knife.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Maybe
no.
someone else has a hammer.
you can only kill so much with a knife. What are you gonna
Yeah.
count? Two people?
I think it's like the record might be like 26 in Taiwan.
Damn. That dude
Anyway.
must have been skilled.
Gotta wrap this up. We've been filming too long, and I gotta go.
Oh yeah.
2 hours,
Listen,
40
Yeah.
minutes.
listen, man. I
Yes,
wish
you
that the
do.
footage wasn't cut as much as it got cut due to my computer messing up. But
I'm going to do it again
Sometime.
just so I could teach
oh,
you.
we are gonna do this again. Absolutely. I think this was great. I think the discussions were great. Like I said, I just wish that my computer didn't die out. But it's so hot in here. It was so hot outside today.
Died.
Man, like, but you went through your guys' technical difficulty. I think I had it worse because that's so much footage gone. But definitely gonna do this again sometime. Thank you guys for coming on to the show.
We're going to
Thank
have
you,
you
yeah.
on the show. How about that? Maybe one day when we recreate the
wanna-
set in my house.
When we do something. in
We
the
got
future.
Andrew
You're-
and Chris.
You're gonna recreate the set? Why, you moving?
Yeah, we got to
Yeah.
move.
Oh,
It's a
shit.
bad location. The landlord doesn't want it.
Landlord is being a pain in the ass.
Yeah. So
Well,
we're going to move everything.
when the Benny and Steve show moves, definitely let me know. Let me and Andrew know.
I'm
And,
gonna be in
we'll-
town.
oh yeah, we'll be there. Absolutely.
Ain't the-
I'm a local guy. You call me anytime. You know.
We'll recreate.
Yeah, man, Yeah, once we get established better, we're just getting the ball rolling with this stuff.
Listen, that's what we're doing, and I can't wait to see your first podcast. I think it's going to be great, and all the other podcasts that come along with it. So, like I said, thank you guys for being on the show, and we'll definitely have you again next time. And we hope that everybody else watching this did enjoy what you saw for our 10th episode special. Thank you very much. And yeah, so we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.
Peace out, everyone.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
All right, guys. Bye.
Yeah, man.
Peace.